This is the Dallas Morning News.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hello, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Anna Butler, the Dallas Morning News' food editor. The Tango Frogs are back in town, and we've got a reason to dust off your croquet mallets. Also, if you're planning a party and need an easy appetizer, we've got your back. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Today, I am joined by our food writers, Sarah Blaskovich and Imelda Garcia. What's this I hear about a croquet bar, Sarah?
North Texas is home to a croquet bar. And I thought I'd heard of every kind of bar, but I'd never been to a croquet bar until I went for the interview at Stewart's in Fort Worth. So this is the creation of Chef Tim Love, who is arguably one of Fort Worth's best known chefs. Inside the tiny little 28-seat Stewart's bar, there's a martini cart. You can get bumps of caviar, fancy BLTs. You can spend as much as $99 on a hot dog.
Wow.
And then you can play croquet on the lawn out back.
I played so much croquet growing
No,
up.
really?
Wait, really?
We played it at home, yes, but for some reason the school I went to, we did it during PE a lot.
Okay.
Okay, Anna, you have such a big family that I do feel like your football team-sized family, perhaps instead of playing something like flag football, played croquet. That's so very British of you.
I think just hitting things with a wooden mallet makes life more fun. And so I'm thrilled to try Stewart's. I think it'll be great. I love most of Tim Love's restaurants. I did that on purpose.
Ooh, Tim loves restaurants.
So I'm delighted, but I won't be trying the hot dog because I'm not a hot dog girl.
I have to ask something about how you hit the ball with the mallet, Anna, because I fell into an internet hole about this. Because you can swing the mallet at the ball, kind of like you're golfing, but also videos on the internet showed legs open and then the stick through the legs and forward, almost like you're throwing a kettlebell. And there's something totally hysterical about watching semi-professional people do that. How do you swing that mallet?
So there's a whole technique for this.
There is a whole technique
wow.
for this. And the great thing to know is that Sarah actually did so much research on this topic that there's a story on dallasnews.com/food.
Yeah, it's called How to Play Croquet. And look, that may not seem like a food story, but it is linked to this bar. And I was interested in not only how to play the game, but also the fashion. People wear white to play croquet if they want to. I was like, what kind of shoes do you wear? What kind of attitude do you bring? My favorite quote in this story about how to play croquet comes from a video done by ABC Australia. And they called it, quote, a nasty game for nice people.
Nasty game for nice people.
That was a very, very good accent.
I'm good at accents.
This is a podcast skill that you will now be using a lot more, Anna.
Well, the good news is I'm also really good at croquet, so I can actually answer your question around the stances. And the answer is it is situational. So sometimes you do want to whack a ball with your legs, open, and the mallet goes between your legs. Sometimes you're hitting it from the side, probably more in line like you would a putter if we're talking about specific golf clubs, but it is situational. So, it's terrain oriented. But when it comes to footwear, the best thing about this is as a child who never wore shoes, you don't wear shoes because it's a lawn game. So most of the time when you say lawn game, it means you don't have to wear shoes.
See, I'm into all of this tea because sure, I need to know how to play croquet, whatever, but I'm much more interested if I'm going to a croquet bar. What am I wearing? Do I do the between the legs swingy thing?
So is croquet the next pickleball? Because I hope it is.
Maybe. I couldn't find croquet bars across the US. This is like not a thing outside of the sport of croquet. So this speaks to me, the idea that you could eat some fancy fun food, drink a good cocktail, and go with your friends for an activity. I'm into that. But Chef Tim Love recognizes that this is kind of one of one right now. So we will watch and see what happens next.
Isn't it dangerous to have a mallet in some cocktails inside of you?
It was more dangerous to have axe throwing bars, which was a different entertainment trend that has kind of gone out of style. So Imelda, this seems safe to me compared to the alternative.
I thought someone was going to hit me in the head with a driver at 10 a.m. at a Topgolf on Mother's Day. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's the sport. I think it's the people.
Correct.
Okay, Imelda, I hear there's some news out of Collin County.
Yeah, good news for Collin County. So they are going to have a San Martin bakery in Plano. It's going to have now 3 restaurants here in DFW. The first one, let's remember, it's here in Uptown. The second one was in Addison. And now this third one is going to be in Plano. So they plan to open in November, and they will offer the same Guatemalan and Mexican dishes and all that fabulous pastries that they have. The cakes over there are amazing, especially the strawberry. It's really, really good. This third location will be in Preston and Spring Creek. Do you like any pastry from there?
Yeah, they're super beautiful. I mean, that's thing one. And then it appears like they're making kind of the Instagram trendy pastries in addition to, a birthday cake and all that stuff. So that's fun. Like they've got a croissant roll filled with Nutella, which, just sounds like it needs to be on my Instagram right now.
Yeah, the Napoleons are really good also.
They do a good job of also doing savory pastries. I do enjoy a more savory croissant if I can get one. It's not that I don't love an almond croissant too, but I have a chicken vol au vent one, and it's real good.
And there are other places that will open in Collin County soon. For example, the Kicking Crab is going to be in Plano now. Sasa Thai offering Thai food. We Are Dog, this Lebanese bakery. Masuki Sushi, Beans and Bubbles, and Cafe Sopas. This Cafe Sopas has this Dubai chocolate strawberry cup that is so popular in social right now.
Oh, yeah, everybody's talking about this.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that. So, yeah, Collin County, good news for you.
First came the rooftops, now we're getting the restaurant.
And Sarah, I must know, because you have been writing about these frogs. What are the Tango Frogs?
Yes, 3 groovy pieces of Dallas art returned to Greenville Avenue after a 40-year absence. These Tango Frogs were created by a Dallas artist named Bob Daddio Wade. And Daddio was very well known for years. He has since passed. But these 6 frogs that he made, they weigh hundreds of pounds each, and they were once commissioned to dance atop a Dallas nightclub called Tango on Greenville Avenue in 1983. Hence their name, the Tango Frogs. Since then, the 6 sculptures have traveled around Texas. They've been to a truck stop called Carl's Corner for anybody who takes I-35 south to the Austin area. I'm sure you've seen them. They've been to Nashville. They've sat on top of a taco cabana that's now a Starbucks. But on May 8th of this year, the 3 Tango Frogs that were at a Chuy's in Nashville were trucked back to Dallas and placed on Greenville Avenue just down the street from where they originated. Now, I went to Chuy's on Mother's Day, of all places to go.
That is the perfect Mother's Day place.
It was a really good Mother's Day, actually. And there were those 3 Tango Frogs in all their glory back in Dallas.
Are they as cool as they look in the pictures?
Okay, these frogs are so much bigger than they seem in a picture, and they look like a complete blast. Like if I were to go party with somebody, I would pick these 3 frog friends. One is wearing a coconut bra.
Okay.
Which is just like, that's a vibe that I'm into. And at least one is playing an instrument. Apparently they did once actually dance. They moved. They don't move anymore, but I just love them. And I think it's neat that they're back on Greenville Avenue down the street from where they were back in 1983.
Sarah, you told us about 6 of them. And 3 are back home. Where are the other 3?
They are also on Greenville Avenue and have been there for a couple of years. They're at Truck Yard, which is a bar just up the street. And with these 3 coming from Nashville to the new Chuy's on Greenville, we now have all 6. They're not together, but they are on the same street and really in the same block from where they started.
You can read about all of these things by visiting dallasnews.com/food. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to help out Julie with a request for easy appetizers.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you. Whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable, no place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. Before we make ourselves hungry jumping into easy appetizer ideas, we're making one final ask of you to send in your go-to summer recipes. We'll be exploring these on Eat Drink DFW in June, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com and tell us about what you love to cook or drink when summer sets in. Okay, so Julie, one of your daughters is graduating from high school in a few short weeks, and you're in the market for some easy appetizer ideas.
Girl, she's graduating next week. That's why I have new clumps of gray hair. And we're planning this on top of having family in and the graduation ceremony. The very same day as her graduation, we're going to have a little open house. You guys have been invited. I hope you've gotten your invitations. But I need easy appetizers. The things that you can just set out on the table and not worry about, but are still delicious and will still impress your friends who are on the food team at the Dallas Morning News. Like so far, we have brisket sliders that my husband's going to make, and we always get the Bistro B egg rolls. But something like that that's delicious and easy. And again, we're doing this the same day as graduation. So whatever we're doing, I need to be able to prepare it in advance or swing by someplace and pick it up and then just slam it out on the table and kick back and drink some Prosecco while I'm saying hi to all the friends when they show up.
Julie, I have two options for you. One is very conservative, like doing mini caprese clusters, like this tomato and mozzarella with a leaf of basil. That's a great appetizer, I think. But I have another one that is very adventurous. You have to cut some cucumbers in half and then scrape out the inside, and that space you will fill it with Japanese style peanuts. And then you will put in some chaca, that is a little tamarind pieces with a lot of chilito, And then you will bait that with chamoy.
Let me tell you, the picture she's looking at looks like shot glasses made out of cucumbers. And on the inside of the cucumber, you fill it with like spicy sweet peanuts and tahini or chamoy.
And they are so savory. Your party is going to be legendary because of this.
Okay, those are cool.
Yeah, super cool.
All right, I'd like to offer an Indian-inspired recipe that we make all the time for parties. And it is basically a spiced ricotta. So you buy ricotta and then you finely chop cilantro and parsley and basil. And if you want to, some chilies to give it a little bit of heat, some garlic and salt. And then you just in a skillet cook halved cherry tomatoes with garlic, red chili flakes, and some olive oil. And then you make like a wreath. So you take the ricotta mixture, which is now kind of tinged with green color because of all those herbs, and you put the cherry tomatoes all the way around the outside like a wreath, and then either nearby or even stuck on the outsides, little crostini. And so people kind of dig in, you get a little bit of ricotta, a little bit of tomato, and everything in there has all the herbs and the garlic and the spice.
And a little bit of zing, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. That recipe comes from a book called The Chutney Life that I love so much. The recipes are easy to do. They are Indian inspired, and most of them take spices and ingredients I already have at my house. It's just a lovely cookbook that I have really enjoyed cooking from this year. If I could add one more dip, since dip is life, if you don't want to do any cooking, Julie, and you just want the most perfect pimento cheese in town, it is Kubi's spicy pimento cheese with a little bit of jalapeno and smoked Gouda. It's not an excellent price, but it is so good and worth it.
I think it's funny you're mentioning that because that's already on my list is pimento cheese and crackers. And I also think it's funny that both of you guys are recommending tomatoes because I hate tomatoes. But
oh no,
excellent suggestions. And it's not about me. It's about everybody else.
I know. I just want to add, Julie, that since we are coming to the party, it would be cool if you made some tomato dishes.
Yeah, correct.
But I can help with tomato-free ones. I have 2 gluten-free options, which are dishes I've cooked at just about every event I've ever catered in my entire life, in my catering career through the years. So the first one is so simple. It is slices of prosciutto. You're going to want to cut it the long way. You're going to stuff a Marcona almond into half of a fig. You can buy all of these things at Trader Joe's. You're going to wrap the prosciutto strip around the stuffed fig. You are going to bake them at 375 for 10 minutes. You can do this ahead of time. time. You can do it right before. They're good warm. They're good cold. It adds a little bit of texture, but you're getting every single thing you want in a bite, which is a little bit of fat, a little bit of salt, and some sweetness. And that is a really, really good one. And then my favorite is also one you could use for dessert, and that's mixed berries, whatever looks fresh, but also, could be on sale that day. And then candied pecans, which is one of my favorite things of all time. And then a drizzle of balsamic reduction on top. And you can just parse those out into those little clear wine glasses, the plastic ones that you can throw away afterwards. And they are just delicious. They hit every note. They're not overly sweet. And again, gluten-free for all of these, because I feel like we do have to take that into consideration when we're hosting an event. But you're not upset if you have leftovers of either of these things, even if you are not a gluten-free person.
I'm picturing this table, and it also seems so beautiful and vibrant with different colors, you guys. We've got Imelda's cucumber shot glasses, minus the liquor. We've got the red and the green from the ricotta and the crostini that I've suggested. We've got the pink from the prosciutto wrapped around figs. And then we've got maybe some raspberries and blueberries, some red and some purple and some blue mixed with your pecans and your balsamic reduction. And we've got egg rolls and some other stuff. I mean, it sounds like a beautiful table.
Thank you guys so much for these suggestions. And I really appreciate how y'all are offering to prepare this and bring them with you. That means so much to me.
And that's all the time we have for today. And we want to hear from you. If you have an easy summer recipe or just another thought to share, email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. And we don't want you to miss an episode. Make sure you're following Eat Drink DFW wherever you find podcasts. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.